A disease called zombie deer disease is on the rise in the US and in Canada. Can this disease spread to humans? Hunters beware. They compare it to the mad cow disease. Experts are concerned about the rising number of cases and the potential of humans being impacted by exposure to infected deer. They just found a dead deer dead from the contagious zombie disease at Yellowstone National Park. So what does that mean? They also call it chronic wasting disease. So let's have a closer look. What are the symptoms and how can it affect all of us?
Hi guys, the weather has been terrible. It has been raining like crazy. I want to talk to you about something that I think is very important, and especially for me, if you work on a farm, you have to deal with that. But also for you guys, if you go out hunting and you consume like deer meat, because there's a disease out there in deer that's spreading across the US. And if it's in the US, it's also coming to Canada and probably already is there. And they're saying, is that the new mad cow disease? You remember that was a brain disease that really turned cows into like zombie-like weird behavior and collapsing, couldn't walk anymore, like walking ataxic, really strange and so deadly. And this is now spreading, something similar is spreading in deer, and I want to talk to you about that. And you know, I never like to have deer on the farm. Maybe that comes from being in Europe, where deer carry so many ticks and they can bring them onto your property. The ticks have been so bad in Germany. If I brought those guys in from the pasture, they were full of ticks everywhere. The dogs, the horses, everything. And the deer, they bring them because they travel further. So yeah, that's why I don't like it. I'm very grateful that I don't have a tick problem here. But in Europe, in Germany, in Munich, even the dogs, you know, I admit my doggies, they can crawl on the bed with me. And then you feel at night, you feel the tick crawling in your neck. And you know, there's Lyme disease, there's some brain infection that is being transmitted by ticks in Germany, but lots of stuff is being transmitted in North America as well by ticks. That just as a side note. But I want to go inside now and talk to you about that new mad deer disease.
So what is zombie deer disease? The disease is also known as chronic wasting disease. You remember the mad cow disease? The cows really looked like they were drunk or wasting away, like collapsing and dying. So that's why I think they have given the disease that name. It is a type of prion disease, a rare progressive neurodegenerative disorder. So while the scientists are still unsure if this specific strain can spread to a person, prion diseases in general can affect both humans and animals. And that's why we have to monitor this closely, especially if we're out in the woods a lot, or if you're a farm owner, or even if you just grow your organic stuff in your garden. I mean, there's deer everywhere in most areas of the US and in Canada. And if you're a hunter, you're in close contact with deer, with dead deer, you're eating it. So that's why we need to have a closer look at this. So mad cow disease is an example of a prion that can spread from cattle to humans. So we already have the proof that it can jump from an animal to humans. So this new disease affects deer, elk, reindeer, sika deer, and moose, according to the CDC. And affected animals have been found in Canada, the United States, Norway, and South Korea. So it is spreading. And deer, they're moving around, right? They can go further than a bunny or something like that. And that's why it is concerning. How does the disease spread the zombie disease. They walk around like zombies, right? Remember the cows. So the scientists believe that the disease's proteins or prions spread through like feces, salvia, blood, or urine. So that's what you get in touch when you hunt. You kill a deer, you carry it home, you proportion it, right? And the experts are saying the disease can also spread very quickly throughout a population. And that's what makes it so scary and so dangerous. And we have seen this with mad cow disease. And I don't know about you guys, but if you were alive while that cow disease was happening, it's still, I still feel like sometimes when I'm eating beef, I still think about it once in a while. And at that time, as a kid, you were, gelatin in like candy or stuff like this could have been affected. So you basically stopped eating that, and parents stopped feeding that to their kids. I mean, it's not good stuff anyways, but and it was especially in the brain, and it was absolutely scary, and many cows and cattle had been killed. And so I hope that this is not going to be that bad with the deer. But since it's not only the deer, it's like other familiar species to the deer as well. And there's a lot of deer in the US and in Canada. So this is something that worries me, guys. And that's why I want to tell you more about this. And I think it's important to know for everyone, even if you're not a hunter. As I just said, you're in your organic garden, you have your plants there. The deer come, they eat the plants. And remember, they said feces, salvia, blood, and urine. And definitely urine, feces, and salvia. That's what they leave in your garden, right? And if you've followed my channel for a while, I'm always of the opinion better safe than sorry. So this is not fear-mongering, but I think we always should be informed about what is going on so that we can be careful until we know more. So the experts aren't sure yet if the zombie disease can spread to humans, but they're concerned about the rising number of cases that they find and the potential of humans being impacted by exposure to infected deer, because hunting is quite spread out throughout the US and Canada and in the other countries, Norway, for example. And if it's in Norway, it will spread through Europe, right? If it's in Korea, it'll spread there. So basically from there, it can spread very, very quickly, as they say, highly contagious. So we don't know if humans can contact the illness, but since it's compared to the mad cow disease, precautions are definitely necessary in my opinion. So far, there has been no transmission from deer or elk to humans. That's what an associate professor of wildlife ecology and management at the University of Maryland has said, but she warns that given the nature of the disease, the CDC and other agencies have supported all efforts to keep any prion disease out of the food chain, like they tried to with the mad cow disease, right? And I think that's reasonable and it makes sense. And I think that's why the information should be spread out there, so that especially when you're hunting, that you're aware of this. Because definitely what they're saying, that any documented transmission to humans would result in a crisis. And that's according to some research that has been published by the director of the Center for Infectious Disease Research. So I think we should take that serious, guys.
And guys, since we're in the middle of the video, could you do me and him a favor and like this video, share it with your friends, push it out in the world, leave me a comment. What do you think about that new disease? Does this affect you? Do you hunt? Do you eat a lot of deer meat? Let me know. And now back to the video.
research is calling for all agencies to be prepared for the disastrous consequences of the disease if it's spreading to humans or production animals like cattle, because then we have the same problem like we had with mad cow disease all over again. So the increasing spread could lead also to the development of new strains. So to date, 10 chronic wasting disease strains have been found and characterized. So the expanding range of the disease in North America and its presence in South Korea as well as Scandinavian countries will potentially result in millions of deer infected with the zombie deer disease. Millions, guys. That's a lot. And this should be taken serious. And I know these days, after what we've just been through the last few years, people are tired of like the whole topic, and they're like, yeah, that's fear mongering, and they just want to scare us from this and this and that. But you know, as I say, better safe than sorry. If you don't trust what's out there, what's published, do your own research, look into this. If you're a hunter, talk to hunting groups, forums, get informed about this. Talk to people that might have seen a case, that might have been dealing with an infected deer, and look into this. They just found a deer that has deceased from that disease in the Yellowstone National Park. So follow up with this, make your own decision, but you know, it's important. We have kinds of diseases. There's other stuff that's in deer where you have to be careful. There's stuff in wild bunnies where you have to be careful, just eat them in certain times of the year. We know it with like clams, mussels, oysters. So I think we really should take this serious and not just wipe it away. Just another, you know, there's groups that say this was a hoax, this is real, this is not real. I don't want to get into this. But you know, diseases are real, and we have to really be aware of that. And you know, if you have a farm like I do, you see sick animals, you see sick wild animals, and you know, you have to be more conscious about these things. But like I said, you know, so many subdivisions, the deer keep running around there everywhere. So that's why it's not that you're like, oh, I'm living in a condo, I'm living in a subdivision, this will not affect me. It can affect you if the salvia was on the flower that you pick and give your kid, right? I mean, that's why better be informed, better be safe than sorry. So what are the symptoms that you need to be aware of if you see a deer acting strange? So the signs are mostly neurological. So the affected deer, they can be very, very thin, like weight loss, a lack of coordination, that when they look like they're drunk, listlessness, and drooling. So keep in mind, if you're older, look at what you've seen in the cows, in the mad cow disease. It can be compared. So right now, the disease mainly affects like free-ranging deer, elk, and moose. Not yet like captive animals, unless they're like really free-ranging and can get in touch with other deer that are really completely free. They jump fences and stuff like this, right? But you know, this is what many scientists are saying. This thing could develop into a slow-moving disaster for humans. So where did they find infected deer? So it has been found in animal populations in at least 31 US states. That's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That's the CDC. So earlier this month, Kentucky has confirmed a case. The officials of the Department of Fish and Wildlife have announced that the disease was detected in a 2-year-old white-tailed deer that has been harvested by a hunter in November. So at least 414 counties in 31 states reported the disease in free-ranging deer. So that's not minor, right? And it's been all over the United States, and basically less completely on the coasts, but more like towards the inside, high cases in the northern states, but basically everywhere. So if you look at that map, it's spread out, but there's certainly some clusters, but from there it definitely will spread further. I have no doubt about this. So outside of North America, the disease has been reported in reindeer and moose in Norway, in Finland and Sweden, and a few imported cases have been reported in South Korea. So this is more specific now. So really in the northern countries where there's a lot of, untouched land where they can really spread out freely, and there's more of them, of course, there the problem seems to be more present at the time, but definitely it'll spread from there. What I personally find problematic is the way the disease is spreading regarding the incubation time, because this disease can have an incubation time of over a year, and then the signs of the disease may develop slowly. So it's not that a deer catches the disease and you see it right away because it's acting weird. It can look completely fine, and you go out, you hunt it, you watch it before you shoot it, and it looks completely okay. So it spreads through contact with contaminated body fluids and tissue, or through the environment, including drinking water and food. So it is everywhere, basically, once you have an infected animal. And, let's say it's in a puddle and the next deer drinks from it. What if your dog drinks from it? I mean, like I said, I don't want to do fear mongering, but what I don't like about this thing is how it spreads. So it's not really that, for example, it spreads through blood. So if you hunt it, you cut it, you get in touch with it, or that you eat it, it has way more ways. I mean, because we said earlier before, through urine, right? And that's probably how it gets into the water, through salvia, through feces. That's if it rains, it gets into puddles. And it seems to be able to remain active for quite a while in these bodies, and that's what I find really, really not good, guys. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Are you hunting? Do you take any precautions already? Have you heard about this before? So what's your take on this? I would love to hear from you. Let me know. Is there any, whoever has a hunting license, are you getting information from the authorities? Are they sending out emails, letters, or whatever to warn you? Are there any signs in hunting areas when hunting seasons begin? Do they let you know about this? And I would love to hear from you from everywhere, like Europe, US, Canada. I would like to know how it's being handled in the different countries. It's not that this disease is completely new. They discovered it first in 1967. That's what the US Geological Survey says. And since then, it has spread to a number of states and to countries around the world. And so far, no infections have been reported in humans, although the latest research that they have conducted say that the disease is more transmissible to humans from animals than it was previously anticipated. And guys, I have to make a bad joke. I don't know, if I look at the world recently, I often sit at home and I'm thinking, what is this? Where is this stupidity coming from? And, I just feel that we're all going down. Our civilizations are going down. And we've seen it in the past before, how civilizations have been ruined and then they had to go back to basics. And, when you look around you, the nonsense that you're dealing with and the craziness every day, I've been wondering, is it in the food? Is it like something disrupting our systems? Where is all that coming from? And you know what? Maybe, and I said it's just a joke, right? Maybe this disease has been undetected in us humans all over the world, and that's why we're getting weirder by the day. I'm still looking for an explanation. If you have a better one, please let me know. So guys, this was my update on this disease.
Hey guys, if you liked this video, could you do us a favor? Leave this video a like. And for those of you who are new here, check out my channel, check out all the videos. I produce a video daily. And if you like what you see, I would be so happy if you could subscribe and stay with me on this channel and come with me along the ride. It's very windy right now. That's why I'm having a bad hair day. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting my farm. Thanks for supporting this channel with your supers and the coffees you keep buying us on buymeacoffee.com. And that's not straw. Hey, you can't eat that, Sombredo. Please don't. So thank you, guys. Check out my playlist. Check out the 2 videos in the end screen. There's going to be an eruption in Iceland, in Grindavik, around Grindavik, near Grindavik in the coming days. They say this week the magma chamber has filled up again. So that's going to be interesting. So subscribe. Click the notification bell and I'll notify you right away. The super volcano in Italy, Campi Flegrei, is rumbling. The Vesuvius, the most dangerous volcano in Europe, is overdue with an eruption. All this you can see on my channel, the Titan disaster. So check it out. I would love to have you. And for the ones that have already subscribed, thank you so much. And I'll see you very, very soon, guys. Bye-bye.